load it up so we can record this and I don't mess up. Okay, so welcome again. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's masterclass. I'm Regina Robinson, CEO of Student for Success, and thank you for joining me for Mistakes to Avoid in Selecting Your Dream College. Don't have to bore you anymore because I've already told you who I am, but here's some housekeeping rules. Please, by all means, chat your question in the comment thread, and at the very end, I will get all of your questions, I promise you. But I cannot see your questions during the session because it does not show me when I'm on the PowerPoint slide section for me to see your questions. So please be sure to chat your questions. And at the very end, there's a whole segment for Q&A, and I will make sure we get your questions answered, okay? So if you jump on, please make sure you keep yourself muted for the sake of the recording and so that everyone else can hear. Now, I want to find out if there's anyone who wants a gift. If you want a gift, type in the comments gift, right? Because if you stay with me the entire time during this presentation, you will get a gift that I don't think you want to miss out on. But if you jump off early, I took a drink of water because I wanted to see if you were typing, and I can tell because the button is going up and it's getting red. But if you jump off early, you will not get that free gift. I promise you. Unfortunately, it will only be for the people who stick around to the end. And I don't know about you, but I love free gifts. Most importantly, free gifts that are related to me funding my child's education. So you want to stick around for some of those free gifts and bonuses at the end of tonight's session. So we're going to jump right in. We're not going to waste any time. But what I do want to do before I start covering this is I just want to shoot out some of your concerns that was posted inside when you registered so that you can say, okay, you know what? She saw mine. And then you can say, oh my gosh, she answered mine during her presentation. So here were the top concerns because a lot of them was, of course, duplicated, but a lot of them were great concerns. So biggest one, picking the right school, scholarships, of course, standardized testing and the impact since COVID, choosing a major in school, going into unnecessary debt, missing scholarship deadline, application deadlines, and information, writing an essay. Where to start? Picking the wrong school with the wrong environment, paying to attend the college of their choice without going into debt, narrowing down which schools, choosing the right fit, college tours, missing opportunities, the FAFSA process, not sure what to do with this whole process, finding a college that will get my interests, deciding which college is the best for me, choosing a college that doesn't really focus on what I'm studying. I'm afraid of that, that person said. Narrowing down my list without being able to actually see the schools. Not sure what I want to major in. Right college that suits my strengths and weaknesses. Not having the best of grades. Everything that I want in terms of majors, class size, and dorm rooms. Will I pick the right school? Applications, college application process. Those were all concerns and areas that was areas you wanted to be covered tonight. And I promise you, we will cover those areas. If we miss covering one of those areas, don't hesitate to type that question in the chat. Here is the first biggest mistake students make, and that is location. And most importantly about location is, how do you figure out what college you want to put on your list when there are over 4,000 schools here in the US alone? How many of you actually knew that there were over 4,000 plus schools here in the United States? If you didn't know that, say, wow. Just type in the comments, wow. That means 4,000 schools that you need to do research on so that you can decide which ones will actually make it to your list. Now, I hope while I'm talking, you're taking great notes because I'm going to be dropping gems and giving nuggets as I go. So remember, I just said which ones make it to your great list. Well, your list should have no more than 10 schools. Why? You can only put 10 in the FAFSA. So picking 5 to 7 schools is a great average for your college list. 10 maximum. Why? Remember, You can only put 10 in the FAFSA. So if you got 15 and 16 schools you're considering, let's get it down to 10 because you want to make sure you can get a package from each one of those schools. So now I know your question is, well, Miss Regina or Miss Robinson, because I know some of the kids like, well, Miss Robinson, the parents like Miss Regina, whichever one you want to call me, it's okay. I know you are saying by now, well, wait a minute. How in the world am I supposed to go from 4,000 schools to get into 7 to 10 schools? Well, let me tell you. I hope you got your paper and your pad and your notebook because here we go. First and foremost, you want to look at location. Where is it that you would like to go to school? What states are great states that you are considering? What, not whether you're looking for the West Coast, East Coast, or just want to stay on the East Coast, whether you want to be only 4 hours or 5 hours from home, map out what that looks like. Do you want to go south or do you want to go north? That will help you with location. Now, how does location help you with 4,000? Well, if you're only looking at schools in maybe Maryland, North Carolina, Virginia, and Atlanta at the furthest, then you've now eliminated some of those 4,000 schools. So that's an easy way to chip down the number, right? Next way to do that is, now that you've gotten that down to those particular schools for those particular states, now what is it that you want to major in? Well, maybe you're looking for a competitive social work program. And you want to not only go for, maybe you're looking at, okay, I'll take 4-year social work programs, but I would love a 5-year social work program because that means I'll come out with an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree. So let me take a look at which schools in those states that I've targeted down to have a competitive social work program. Well, you just got that 4,000 down even further. And then now there's the next way. Does that school offer athletics? Let's say you're a soccer player, you're a football player, you're a basketball player. Do they offer sports? Contrary to the belief or popularity, every school does not offer sports, not every sport. So you need to make sure you're doing your due diligence to find out if they actually offer sports, okay? That is super important. Do they offer sports? And so you want to make sure that they actually offer what you're looking for. Next thing is, do they offer the environment that you're looking for? Maybe you're looking for Greek life. Do they offer Greek life? Maybe you're like, Greek life isn't that important to me, but I'm looking for diversity, or I'm looking for an HBCU, or I'm looking for a PWI. So let me go back. HBCU, for those of you who do not know, is a historically Black college and university. A PWI is a predominantly white institution. And so you might be looking for one or the other. So you have now gotten that 4,000 list down to a very small number, probably a preliminary list after you've gone through those things of about, I would say 20. Now you're going to do a little bit more due diligence and researching the schools, checking out their mission, checking out the program more in detail, seeing maybe who graduated, checking some information sessions. And now you've even gotten your list down to, what did I say? No more than 10, but 5 to 7 is surely okay. Parents, let me tell you why. You have to pay for every application your child decides to complete. I don't know about you, but applications get expensive and they range anywhere from $25 to $150. So get smart about it. Every time you attend an information session or log online for a school, ask them if they have a fee waiver so that, guess what? You won't have to pay for that college application if they offer you a fee waiver, but you'll never know if you never ask. But you heard it here, so I'm sure by now you will plan to ask on every virtual session you jump on from this day forward. My daughter did not pay for not one application when she applied to school, and she did in fact apply to 10 because she just had to go above the 7, and she applied to 10. So we want to make sure you have that opportunity to not pay as well. Next, I want to talk to you and pause briefly about one of my students named Ebony. I met Ebony and she graduated from Flowers. So all my Flowers representing tonight, there go one of your shining stars. So Ebony graduated from Flowers when she first came to me and was a part of my VIP College Bound program. She first went with me on my college tour. And so she was quiet, she was shy, she was like to herself. By the time we left the tour, she had friends, she was blossoming. And then she was saying, Miss Robinson, I want to major in nursing. So if you're on here and you're considering nursing, where my nursing students, rep nursing in the chat, say nursing, hashtag nursing in the chat. And so here's a nugget. Did I tell y'all I was going to drop bonuses and gems all the way through, all the way tonight? So because I'm sharing about Ebony, you're going to get a bonus if you're considering nursing. Here's what you need to know as a particular nursing student. Please remember, all nursing programs are not direct entry programs. So if you are considering nursing and you want to decide whether you are willing to apply to a school that's not direct entry, or be only willing to put schools on your list that are direct entry into the nursing programs. What's the difference between the two? Direct entry means you can get into the college, but you have to wait until your probably sophomore year to get into the nursing program. Well, there could be 75 students applying for that nursing program with only 20 spots. Guess what? Oh, there's going to be about 55 students unhappy because only 20 get it out of the 75. Hopefully I did the math right. But that can be very disappointing. So you have to decide, would you be willing to waver and say, okay, I just won't do nursing and I'm going to just do biology because I didn't get into the nursing program. So that was for Ebony's concern. When she came to me, she had no idea that that is something that happens as a nursing major. So once we started working on that, we created her whole list around schools that were direct admit. So I gave her the list of all schools that were direct admit, that was in her range, that was in her area. And now, guess what? Ebony is thriving, doing amazing, actually a mentor, and she attends Stevenson University. Ebony, out of the 5 schools she applied to, she got $278,500 in scholarships and grants. You can't tell me the money ain't out there. You just need to position yourself to get the money. And that's exactly what Ebony did. So she tells you, Student for Success really helped me with the process. I received monthly scholarships. She was great advice along the way. And most importantly, she got accepted into her top college with scholarship money, and that she did. Second thing that most students make as a mistake is the campus environment. What makes the college the right fit? You have to decide that, students. What are you looking for? We know economically, socially, and financially, but what else are you looking for in the school to offer you? Extracurricular activities. Do you want to still be a part of the band? Do you want to be a part of Greek? Do you want to get in organizations? Do you want to do leadership? What do you want that college campus to offer you? What do you want to do when you leave that school? See, because that's important. Are you looking at what that school is going to offer you when you get ready to leave there in 4 years? Do they have a great program for helping students navigate into their career? Meaning graduate and get right into a job. What's their rate for putting students from from college right into the workforce? What intricate part do they play in supporting their students? Those are all extra things that are important in the campus environment. Is the campus environment religious? Do they force religion on you? Those are things you need to know. Here's what most students are not looking at in their college research, and that is the mission statement of the school, the culture, what their school stands for. All of those things are important, not just if the school looks popular or if the schools and the students would say, I think I'm maybe a little old, I don't know what y'all say these days. I'm not even sure, but don't look for just popularity is what I'm saying. You need to make sure it suits you culturally. You need to make sure not only economically, does it make sense when you get out of college? Who's gotten jobs that graduated from there? Look up celebrities. Did they come from that school? What are they doing now in their lives? That's what you want to start comparing. Socially and financially. See, these are things that my students and my clients, we focus on these areas. Because when you get to these schools, if you pick the wrong school, remember, it's 4 years of your life. 4 years can make or break you in the environment that you're placed in. So my goal for all of my students, and my students' goal, is to find home for 4 years. And that's what I want to make sure tonight you understand in your research, whether you're working with me or doing this on your own in the end. Make sure you find somewhere you can call home for 4 years. And here's a bonus. Every college on your list, no matter which one says yes or no, most importantly, that you can see yourself going to any of the schools that are on your list. Otherwise, they should not make it into your top 7 or your top 10, whichever one you're going to choose. So remember, Nothing goes on your list unless you know you can see yourself calling it home for 4 years and that it meets you culturally, economically, socially, and most importantly, I know the parents are saying, girl, financially is what I'm concerned about. So, financially as well. And we'll talk more about financially as we go further. College campus tours is another mistake most students make. So if you had been doing this master class with me 2 years ago, I would have said something like this: parents, you would not buy a home if you could not see that home first. You just wouldn't do it because you want to make sure they got a big walk-in closet, a big kitchen that got granite and hardwood and all that good stuff in the house, right? So why would you pick a school if you couldn't see inside first? Well, that's not my spiel anymore. What my spiel is to you tonight is COVID has shifted the way we have to see the college admissions process. So, students, here is where I'm going to charge you to get creative. You need to go on every college website. My students did this year, my seniors last year. Every college website, watch videos, watch tours because they have them virtually now. Why? Because they have pivoted because of COVID as well. So we, as the students and the parents, must pivot right along with the schools so we can make the best decision. So you're going to have to pivot in this process. How are you going to do that? You're going to make sure that you get on all the virtual information sessions the school has to offer. You're going to go on their website, do all the virtual tours of the dorms, the cafeteria, the library, the academic buildings. You're going to go and see it all. Then, here's that bonus. You're going to get on social media and you're going to find every school that's in your top 7 or 10, and you're going to follow them on social media. And on top of following them, you're not going to follow them and be a silent follower. You're going to be an active follower. You're going to comment, you're going to like, you're going to ask questions under posts. Guess what the schools are doing? Trolling their social media, seeing who's engaged, because when they go to those applications now in their mind, some schools in the past have looked at that for people to get accepted because they figure if you're willing to come and drive and visit, then you're really serious about that particular school. And so now what they're doing is looking at their social media and seeing students are responding, students are chatting, students are connecting, and they're even having students connect with you and reach into your DMs, or you can go into their DMs. So listen, students, that's a bonus because students are not doing that. But guess what? You will be after tonight, right? Because you heard it right here. And I'm trying to tell you what's going to get you that inside scoop when your application comes across the desk of that admissions counselor. They're going to say, I remember Regina followed us on social media. I remember her commenting on one of our comments. I remember her asking questions. She's a very engaged student. Let me check out her transcript. Let me check out her recommendations. Let me see what she wrote in her essay, as opposed to someone else who's not doing any of that. So I know you can't necessarily get to see the schools right now in person, but hopefully, and we keeping our prayers up that COVID is going to release itself so that by the end of the summer going into the fall, these campuses will open back up wide open so that you can get on there and get one glimpse before you have to make that final choice. You will get to see all of those schools. One thing I know is last year, when COVID first hit, my seniors didn't have concerns about visiting their colleges. Why? Because I had already advised them to go and visit their schools ahead of time so that when COVID hit, they didn't have to choose a school blindsided, or they didn't have to settle and choose a school closer that they were familiar with because they had not visited their colleges. So parents and students, this is your way of visiting virtually. And then if COVID releases and allows you to start visiting campuses, then you can go and visit the campus. Okay. So hopefully that helped in retrospect to the questions about that. The importance of academics. Now more than ever, your academics matter. Now more than ever, your academics matter. And so you are a junior now. If you are currently a junior, you're at the end. This year determines everything. When you finish this year, whatever GPA comes on your transcript, schools will look at that first. And then, because of COVID and the changes it has made, a lot of schools were asking some students to look at first and second quarter grades of their senior year. So, senior year is not a time for you to get relaxed. You do need to remain focused and steadfast and keeping your grades up, but you need to continue the second half of the year and finish as strong as possible. So, if you know you've been a little lax, you know you've been a little reluctant, now is the time for you to shift into high gear and make sure that you are doing everything that you need to do to maintain your academics, okay? Um, get some tutoring, get some virtual help, do what you need to do to keep your grades to where they need to be. What I know you're saying, well, Ms. Robinson, what is a good GPA? Well, what's an average GPA? It will depend on the schools that you are looking for. But here's what you need to know. In the past, scholarships academic money was based off of your GPA and your test scores. Well, now a lot of schools have gone test optional, so there is no test scores and they're going based off of your GPA. Well, back then the GPA was the average of a 3.4, 3.5 for you to fall in the test optional range. Well, schools are looking at things a little differently now, but here's what I know. Hopefully you have over a 3.0 cumulative when you end 11th grade. But if you can have over a 3.5 and higher cumulative when you end over 11th grade, you position yourself into another bracket of schools, okay? So please make sure you are considering that when you are finishing out your junior year. I know some of you are saying, well, what if I'm not in AP or honors courses? How does that look? If you're in AP courses, that's great. It gives you a higher bonus in your GPA. But if you are not, don't count yourself out. That does not mean you can't apply to a competitive school because you weren't in AP or honors. It just means that they're going to probably look at other students first. And then if they still have spots and they're looking more for AP students, then they will come back down to those other particular students. But it does not mean that you should count yourself out. So please, please don't count yourself out just because you don't have AP or honors courses. That is not what they mean by that. But academics is important now more than ever. And a lot of parents will reach out to me and they say, well, what if my student only has about a 2.0 GPA? I'm going to say this in love. If your student is a 2.3 or below student, I suggest they start at a community college level. And there is nothing wrong with the community college. What that does is give them an opportunity to create a foundation. And that allows them to get used to the rigor, the responsibility, and the independability of being at a community college so that they can prepare themselves. Not only that, prove to themselves and prove to you that they are ready to take on the academic load at a 4-year institution after they have done 2 years at their community college. So please be open to that for a community college. There is nothing wrong. Someone is probably saying, well, what's the difference between a community college and starting at a 4-year school? Here's the deal. Student A will start at a community college. Student B will start at a 4-year school. Student A will meet B there in 2 years. When they get out in 4 years, if student B was collecting debt, student A will meet them there and they will both leave at the end of the 4th year, A and B. The only thing different would be that the student B got more debt than student A. That could be the possibility if student B is there without any scholarship money. Student A, possibility the other side of that story, could get laxative at a community college, take longer than 2 years, and instead of getting out of school in 4, they're going to be in college for 5. Now you're spending 5 years as opposed to 4. So those are some of the hiccups when it comes to choosing community college over a 4-year college. But again, there is nothing wrong with starting at a community college level. Next is standardized testing, which was huge on the questions of concerns. I know right now everyone is flustered with the testing sites being canceled, tests not being available, deciding if they're going to do computer tests, not knowing. And then I know you heard that College Board has now done away with all SAT subject tests. And I know some of you are saying, well, I didn't even know about that. Well, usually the SAT subject test is required by some of the upper tier Ivy League schools, but they are no longer accepting that for the class of 2022. They are taking it out and beyond. They are also removing the optional writing portion. So when you go to register, you do not have to include writing. So here's what I suggest. Here's what my juniors are doing that's in my program right now. You want to eliminate all the ruckus of the seniors still trying to get some testing in. If they're still trying to test, when the tests start opening up February and beyond, in between February and August, you should have taken the test twice. So what am I saying? I mean, I'm saying that you should register between February and April for the SAT and ACT once. You take both of those tests, and my clients, when they're in my program, we look at both of those results and we eliminate one test. And then they take that next test a second and a third time if they need it. For you, when you get those tests, you have to look at them and decide, okay, am I going to do it twice? You might go back and you might do it twice if you're doing this thing on your own, right? And so then by that time, you know which one you're doing better at, and you eliminate one, and the third time, if you need the third time, which will be in the fall of your senior year, you just focus on whether it's the SAT or the ACT. Now, the average ACT score is a 21 plus composite. The average SAT score per section is 500 plus per section. Now that's the average. Every school, some require much higher and some doesn't require as high, right? But you want to make sure either way that you are focused in on what your school's requirements are and what they are actually looking for. Now, I know you want to talk a little bit about test optional. And what does that mean? I covered it just a little bit briefly, but let's bring it into this slide also and talk about it. Test optional has become very popular since COVID hit. And what test optional means is you do not have to provide test scores. You select the box, will not provide test scores, and they will base it off of all other areas you have submitted. And so once you provide your test scores, once you provide your GPA, they look at your transcripts, your recommendations, your resume if they required it, they look at your essay, and they look at the courses you have taken and the extracurriculars and volunteer services you have done throughout your high school career. And so test optional, again, used to mean where it was an average of a GPA of a 3.4 and above. And now it's become where every school is willing to decide on their own what GPA requirement they are going to consider for their test optional range. And again, it's holistic, so they are looking at everything. So again, remember, make sure you get registered for your SAT and ACT in the winter. Make sure you get it in one more time before the summer and spring. Keep in mind, applications open August 1st. So you want to be ready. You want to have some test scores if you're going to apply using test scores. The beauty in that is when my daughter was applying for college, all her schools were test optional. So she applied to every school that was test optional. So we did not have to provide scores to her prospective schools because we went based off of her academics and based off of her curriculum, her extracurricular activities, volunteer services, and her essay. Now, let's talk about how merit aid is attributed for every student. Remember, I said when schools are looking to give you merit aid, and parents, can I tell you, this is where we get to shouting right here, because merit aid has nothing to do with how much income we make. It is based solely off of our students' efforts throughout their high school career. So if you know your child has been doing the work, then they should be rewarded for the work. But here's where students miss out. Tune in, parents, closely. Tune in, students. If you're live on your own, tune in closely. Most of you, when looking at schools, you're looking at everything except for how you rank against your school. I told you within the last 15 years of doing this, my kids have gotten over $15 million in scholarships and grants. My students this year alone, with 9 seniors for the class this year, graduating class is already at $1 million, and they are still waiting on acceptance letters. So the money is out there. Remember, I said position yourself to get it. So if you don't get anything from tonight except for this, when I say this is a grand bonus that you are getting to see in front of you, this is a grand bonus. This is actually a screenshot from the private online system that my clients get access to, that we know about every college. Well, this is a particular college that shows us what their 50 percentile is, as well as what their test scores are, so that my student can decide if this is a school that should go on their list based off the fact that we want to get as much merit aid as possible. So their average GPA for students is a 3.59. My student's GPA is a 3.5. Do you believe they're going to get some merit money from this school? Let's drop down to their test scores. Reading, they scored above what they were requiring. Math, they scored a little towards the higher end, but there's some extra cushion here. And then on the ACT, they didn't even score. So guess what scores we would only send to this school? The SAT only. We will not give them the ACT scores. And yes, this student is due some merit money from this college or university. But again, it's knowing which schools, because not every school offers merit money from the top. But you want to be applying to the schools that offer merit money unless you have a huge financial savings for your child for college. And if you don't, then you want to be looking for the schools that offer merit money. So when we are helping our students create that top 5 to 7 schools that we talked about, no more than 10, this is our main factor in considering those schools. First, it was already where the location was, what major it offered, what the environment and culture was that matched what my student was looking for. And then most importantly, do they rank within that school? When you are creating your list of colleges, please don't create an off-balance list. Make sure your schools have a balance. When I say balance, that means you got likely, target, and reach schools. Likely means you have the GPA and the test scores, and you're likely to get a yes from there, but there is no guarantee. Target means you might have the GPA, you've fallen a little short on the test scores, so you could possibly get a yes. The school might ask you for some additional information and grades. Reach schools, I always tell parents and students, I'm not a dream killer, but I'm a reality checker. You get 2 dream schools. So my clients apply to 7 schools. 5 they need to be in likely and target. 2 they get for reaches, because I don't want to kill their dreams. But the reality is the parents know from beginning that they need to have a full price ticket for this particular dream school, because they're not going to give any merit money to their child. So parents, you need to have that conversation and have that and be in the know of what your students are looking for. Don't just let them choose because they think the school is popular or they think the school has the most students that went there from their high school. That's not a reason to choose a college.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but the platform that was used before, what platform is that, or is that a private one?
It's a
That
private platform, so you can't actually get to it. It's a paid membership.
is there anything similar to that?
No, it's not. But the college website, you'll be able to go on your college websites and try and find where they have their GPAs and test scores from the class that came in before you. So choosing a major, what is it that you want to decide in choosing a major? I can hear parents now saying, my daughter or my son is driving me crazy because they have not chosen a major as of yet. Parents, let me just give you a little relaxation. They are still young. They changed their minds with the weather, right? And so we as parents know we changed our mind. We changed our minds too when we went to college. Most of us changed our major at least once. I know I'm a victim. I changed mine 3 times. I came out with almost enough credits to have 3 degrees. And so here's what I suggest for each student. If you are not sure what you want to major in, you have an idea. So if you're thinking about, I want a little bit of business, I want a little bit of theater, I want a little bit of management. One of my clients tonight who will share, she wanted a little bit of management, she wanted a little bit of theatrics, she wanted a little bit of production, and we found her all of that in all of her schools. So when we did her research, it was important for us to find schools that offered all 3 of those things. So guess what? When she get there, it doesn't matter which one she choose. They have all the majors she's looking for. So she won't get there and call her mother later and say, Ma, you need to transfer me because they don't have my major. We made sure of that. Same thing with my daughter. She wanted forensic science. She wanted education. She wanted fashion. Well, every school on her list had all three of those. In the end, she chose education. But guess what? I would have made sure each and every one of those majors are there in case she decides to jump ship from one major into another major. They're all there at their schools. So parents, cut your children some slack. Duval, class of 2019 from Bowie High School. So he repping all the Bowie family tonight. And so Duval is a current student at University of Maryland College Park. Duval applied to 7 schools, got $307,500 in scholarships and grants. I met Duval at a parent night at Bowie High School, and he was literally a senior. Duval had 15 days to apply to 7 schools, write essays for all of his schools, and get all his applications done. And he did it. And look what the results were: $307,000, $307,500. So his mom says, Ms. Robinson, who guided me down the right path, I would have been stressed and struggling. Instead, now I am instilled with the tools for controlling my future. He says, if you're a high school student like me who needs assistance with navigating the college process, you want to enroll in Suited for Success College Bound program. In the fall of 2019, he is a TERP, and he is currently doing extremely well at College Park in their mentor programs, and he's now mentoring other students. So Bowie High School did an amazing job in equipping him and preparing him for his next level. Him going through the program helped him because literally 15 days when I met his parents was to the close of early action deadlines. So we had 15 days to get in there, get tight, and get it right. And we got it right because he got accepted, as you can see, to all of his schools that he applied to, and he earned enough money to make sure he can go to College Park without going into debt for his parents. The cost to attend college is also a mistake. Why is that a mistake? Because that leads back to show me the money, parent and student responsibility. Do you believe that it is the parent responsibility to pay for college? Or do you believe it's your students' responsibility to pay for college? Or in fact, do you believe it's both responsibility? So if you just believe it's the parent responsibility, put parent. If you believe it's the student, put student. If you believe it's both, put parent and student. And I believe that we have to understand that it is a little bit of all of us. And I'm going to show you why. Parent and student responsibility always comes last. Here's why. You want to first focus on that merit aid package, what I just talked about and showed you the diagram for the students to be able to see where their GPA and test scores lie. You want to be so laser focused on that you know that you're going to get some money up front, because that's going to help to come off of the ticket price so that you can actually see clear. The next is FAFSA. When you complete your FAFSA and you drop your information in that database, which when it's come time, remember parents, all my junior parents only, and I say only with emphasis, on October 1st, the FAFSA will open for you. Parents, if you have a 10th grader, please do not say you heard me say October 1st for you. I did not. Junior parents only, October 1st next year, in your child's senior years when the FAFSA will open for you. Sophomore parents, you'll have a whole nother year to wait for that next October. So please don't jump gun and do it that year because it won't work. But for parents, for the FAFSA, please, October 1st, if you get your taxes done late, I say this all the time and parents still do it. If you get your taxes done late, please make this year not the year that you do your taxes late, please, because you will need your taxes in order to complete your FAFSA on October 1st. We assist, last year, I think we did 48 parents. We assist parents every year in completing the FAFSA. And no, they're not just parents from my program. Those 48 parents weren't even in my program. Those were just parents who joined my FAFSA Masterclass that I do every year right before the FAFSA opens. FAFSA will determine whether you get student loans, grants, and work study. And so that then starts to take off money off the ticket price for the school as well. And then last but not least, there's scholarships. You have to apply for scholarships, students. Please, please, please apply for scholarships. We've gotten such a demand for people asking us about scholarships. I'm going to launch a scholarship membership starting March 1st. That means every month in your email, if you subscribe to the membership, You will get a list of scholarships in your email every month. You're just responsible of going through the list and applying. You half of the work is done for you. All you have to do is actually apply. But students, apply to as many scholarships as possible. I know you're saying, well, what about me? I'm a junior. Can I actually apply for scholarships? Yes, there are some scholarships already available for juniors. My junior clients are already applying for scholarships. In fact, I sent them one today to apply for. There are scholarships out there. You need to go out there and get the scholarships. After merit aid, after FAFSA, after scholarships, and FAFSA is just your award letter from your school. That means they're going to put in what you get and what you don't get. Once those three areas are covered, that's when it's the parent and student's responsibility. And parents, please know that it is not the responsibility of you to borrow from your 401k plan or for you to borrow from equity in your house. It will take too long for you to rebuild that up to keep doing that year after year. Please make sound decisions in finding a school. I don't know how many parents, I got so many parents calling me right now saying, well, my child got a lot of acceptance letters, but they're not getting any money. Or I got parents who have students who are freshmen. Well, now it's second semester and they saying I owe this much money. And I have to tell them, I have to say, I have to be very honest with them. I have to say, unfortunately, ma'am, it really is nothing I can do to support you in this. Had you gone through my program, we probably wouldn't have had that college on your list because I've been known you couldn't afford it. And so it really is not about trying to afford a college for one semester because every semester the bill comes out and you have to be able to support that bill every semester that it drops into your account. So please make a sound decision on what school you are going to choose because the last thing you want to do is look like this picture, carrying all that debt for the next 4 years because students, you will have all that debt when you get out of college in 4 years. And parents, you will carry the debt of that Parent Plus loan that they assign to you and carry that on your shoulders. Now, here's what I know. Some students and parents need loans to go to college, and that's okay. Borrow smart and don't borrow more than you need. They will give you way more money than you need, but that is not your goal in this season. Your goal is just to get what you need so you can fund your child, and that is it. Make sure you shop around and get the best interest rates and best repayment plan because the last thing you want is to cover that debt. I told you my students have already, this year I graduating class of 2021. I have 9 seniors that I am currently working with and coaching, and they have already collected $1 million. I'm so proud, right? Because the money is out there, but we have to do what we need to do to get the money. And some of the schools they've applied to are some of the same schools you dropped: Hampton, Howard, Clark, College Park, Morgan State, Baltimore County, Townsend, Salisbury, George Mason, Louisiana State, FAMU, Savannah College, Temple, Frostburg, Bethune, Xavier, Stevenson. These are all schools that are available and all schools that are dropping the cash. Why? Because they collected. So I know the money is out there. You just have to make sure your students are willing to do what it takes to get that money. I know some of you are feeling like, okay, ma'am, this is a lot, and I am just pulling out my hair. I understand, but that's why I'm here to support you. That's why I did this masterclass. I know that everyone on this masterclass won't work with me. First of all, because there's 39 families on here. So I know everyone won't work with me because I don't have 39 spots available. But what I do know is I want to always be a vessel of sharing information that can help you in the steps you need to take to get you started, because that was your question. How do I get started? Well, you have ways of getting started now so that you can begin to help your child. You can do it alone, and that is more than doable. But parents, please do not try and help your child during this COVID time where everything has shifted in the admissions process with the tools that you use 20 something plus years ago to go to college. We didn't even have online applications. We only had paper. We didn't even have the option to take both tests. There was no such thing as test optional. There was no such thing as virtual visits and trying to navigate tours and all of that. So please do your due diligence and get on as many webinars, school information sessions. If you're going to navigate this thing on your own, make sure that you are doing what you need to do to get the information so that you can support your students and support them in this effort of moving forward in the college process. I don't want you to take it all from me. I invited one of my students, and I invited one of my parents. They just so happen to be mom and daughter, onto the live tonight so that they can share from a parent perspective and from a student perspective. I believe the students need to hear from another student. And I believe parents need to hear from another parent, so that you can know that you're not alone and so that other people have experienced the same thing you have experienced. So Samaya, if you would unmute yourself and share with share with the students.
Hello, my name is Samaya Allen Graham. I attend Duke Ellington School of the Arts and I'm in 12th grade. I plan to major in theater, acting, get my BFA degree there. And I've already been accepted to Savannah College of Art and Design and Temple University. And I'm still waiting on my other acceptances in California because I will be accepted.
Right.
And this program has really helped a lot. I remember, when I first started the college process, I was very nervous and I really didn't think about how much went into it until I joined this program. Thank you. Um and Miss Regina really helped a lot in terms of like find researching, staying on top of me with my research, and just know if you join this program and you're a student and you're not on top of it, on top of it, she's gonna make sure you get on top of it one way or another. So just be ready for that. But I was reminded of always staying on top of my stuff. It was at and I did that. Like I had trouble with my essay sometimes, and she would really put her all into correcting it. And in my other essays, like I had to do a couple, and she worked with me through it all. She helped me with my resume and trying to figure that out and editing it to the T. Like it had to be absolutely perfect until I sent it off for me to send it off. And I know that if I didn't have this program, I will be where some of my peers are. Some people that I know are still applying to colleges, and I was done by November with all my stuff. So I didn't really have to worry as much as other people did, who were not a part of this program. And I like to get stuff done. I'm a very, I want to get it done right away. So it was just another boost to keep that at the forefront. And thank you, Miss Regina. And I hope you guys who are on this Zoom really took in what she was giving and all the information she was spewing because it's really going to help when you get in my position.
You're welcome, dear. Thank you, Samaya. Yes, and Samaya is right. She used to get mad when I would send her back her essay, but at the end of the day, she could be more appreciative in knowing that she was proud of her final product.
Absolutely. Period.
Mom, Nina.
Good evening, everyone. Just to piggyback off my daughter, first off, let me say, I was navigating the college process myself, and I was trying to host a few of her friends and helping them as well. And then in the midst of that, I was also attending some of Miss Regina's I don't know, the ad hoc classes where you could just kind of join in, something similar to this, because she has classes that are separate from the entire package that she's going to offer. So at first I was just looking at those thinking, oh, I got this. I've been to college and all this, and I did my own FAFSA when I was in high school and all these things. I did this with the financial aid office. And then as things began to progress, I was like, maybe I need some help. And so after attending one of these sessions, I just decided, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and invest in this opportunity for Samaya. And here it is. The investment, the return on the investment was almost immediate. Um, Again, Samaya, the first thing she did was have a conversation with myself and Samaya about what we thought college would look like and the process for us. So as soon as we gave her those things, then she gave us feedback and we got started. And majority of it was on Samaya to do. It really made her responsible for what she wanted to do, which I think makes the kids appreciate this more when they are taking up more of the responsibility for their college, pursuing their college and what they want to do. Um, Also, there's a benefit and a payment plan. So I had to get on the payment plan, and I did that instead of paying everything up front. Our SAT experience was stressful. We had planned on taking the SAT so many times. We had a process. However, once Miss Regina got into the picture, it was just like, all right, listen, these SAT dates are coming out. So as soon as she shot those dates out, we just went online and made sure we applied for the SAT. Some of them got canceled, but then she shoot us new dates. They're coming out. So we didn't even have to stay on top of looking at all the different tools and resources out there. She was already sending out text messages early in the morning, letting everyone know that this is happening, get on it. So that happened. We were participating in her college fair trip, college tour. However, that got canceled. But as soon as all of the virtual events kicked off, she started sending us all that stuff. So she took the pressure off of the parent to try to do all of this research. Now, we did have to participate, and there are things that we did have to do, but to not have to search for scholarships, because she sends a monthly scholarship list out. I want to say it's like at least 50 or more scholarships listed. All of them may not apply to your child, but to me, that is the benefit of just having that list monthly is just amazing. She helped us fill out the FAFSA. Again, Samaya had helped with the essays. While I thought I was a really good writer, I think I was helping Samaya. And then I got a phone call like, I got this. So I had to back down and let Samaya do it, which I believe the essays came out better. I was reading and couldn't believe that I kind of got teary-eyed, like my baby is getting ready to leave. This is it. And so I think that it would benefit the parents and the kids. I know that it would benefit the parents and the kids to take advantage of the opportunity that she is giving you through Suitor for Success. And if you don't see the rewards immediately, you'll definitely see it when those colleges acceptances come out and the scholarships come out, because we've already received $68,000 in scholarships, and we're not even done yet. So I hope you all decide to join her in this process. Take some of the anguish and pain that comes with it, because it does come with it, because things are constantly changing due to the pandemic and COVID, and the schools, they're just constantly making changes that sometimes is so many that you can't even keep up. Good luck to all the seniors and everyone who's getting ready to join that are freshmen, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Now is the best time to get started. Senior year to me is too late.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, let me just reiterate one thing that Nina said. Two things actually. The biggest thing that she said was she had to get sat down. So I highly recommend, and I tell parents all the time, my program ain't for every family because I'm no nonsense. My goal is to make sure your child get the most money as possible and find home for 4 years. But in the process of doing that, I will not allow the parents to taint the process and the opportunity for the students. So she wasn't too bad. She just kept trying to give her opinion, making Samaya upset. So I had to intervene and say, she does not need your support in helping with her essay. And here's why. The school they can hear a student's voice and they can hear a parent's voice. So parents, don't get on top of your children trying to write their essay, because a college admissions counselor will know very quickly that it was never written by a child, but that it was written by a parent. And on top of that, when they get to the college, they need to know how to write for themselves. So I do make sure parents understand that it is not their lane, that it is truly my baby's lanes. They are just there to support when I call on them for support, but we are creating self-advocates in this program, because when your child, you drop them off to campus, when they move in, the school will act like you do not exist. And so we need to make sure they're prepared for that transition. So how can we help your child?
Also, Miss Regina, can I say one last thing?
Mhm.
Also, um, all the students in here, example of how important being on social media and talking to them is Samaya's, one of her schools, Temple, I think it was Temple. Samaya had been on their social media. She had been talking. She had attended several of their virtual tours, even though she had attended them before. They had not gotten back to her, but because she had been so let me see, persistent in all these different avenues, someone noticed, and they called her out during one of the virtual tours and asked her, was she the one making comments and all these other things? And they were like, did we give you an acceptance letter yet? And she was like, no. The following day, we have received her acceptance letter. So they do notice when you're doing all of those things Miss Regina is talking about, because they surely noticed that Samaya had been in their chat, on their Instagram and Twitter, commenting and everything like that. So then they asked her, weren't you on all these different avenues? And she said, yes. And they were like, did you get your package? She said, no. I'm gonna say a day later, it could have been 2 days later, she got that package, like, you've been accepted. So maybe they weren't looking at first because they had so many applications to go through, but they definitely pulled hers because of that. That's it.
Thank you, Nita. Yeah, so please remember, I said social media is important. And you got to be willing to think outside the box and do what other students are not doing, so that you can, what I tell the kids all the time, get from the bottom of the pile to the top instantly. And that's what the students and my clients are doing, because I'm giving them the spills of exactly what to say when they reach out. Here's what you need to say. And then most schools are probably saying, how does this student know how to call here and say that? Well, they don't got to know I'm the one on the other side telling them how to call here and say that. What they just know is that they're impressed that the student called and asked that. And so that's what it's about in helping them. So here's how we can help you, because I know by now a couple of people commented, well, what's the program? When do you enroll in the program? You can enroll in a program as a 10th and 11th grader. If you have a current senior who has not done their stuff yet, that's a whole nother conversation. You want to call my office if you have a senior. But if you have a current 11th grader and you have a current 10th grader, here's what our program entails. We assist the families in understanding their students' academic profile. The first thing we do is review your transcript. We assist the students in navigating through the 4,000 down to getting to their list of 5 to 7. They come with the schools they want, but I come with a whole nother list of schools. And believe it or not, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, my clients pick one of the schools I've recommended that they didn't even know and didn't even have on their initial list. That's usually how it's gone over the years. We assist students in creating their academic resume. We work with them in getting their recommendations and requests from their counselors and teachers. We also help them review for their college applications, for their scholarships. We work with them on their essay from start to finish. We do not write their essay for them. They are responsible. We give them feedback and we push them to keep editing until it is polished and done in excellence. We assist the students, again, like I talked about earlier, in the SAT and the ACT, and which one to eliminate or whether they're going to be test optional. So for instance, Samaya went test optional on all her schools. That was a great fit for her. It worked. We didn't even have to really worry about the testing because they kept canceling. We assist the families in completing the FAFSA, which is a bonus that we do. We also assist the families in creating like that virtual roadmap or those visits to the schools like Nina was talking about, and that's a bonus as well. We also communicate and help you communicate with your high school guidance counselor for the parents and the students. We also help you make a final decision on and choosing the right fit school in the end. So all of my students and parents right now are gearing up for April so we can have our final chat about what school is going to make it and what school is going to be home for the next 4 years for our seniors. So I know you're saying, well, yeah, that all sounds great, but we just want to know how much it costs. So for the class of 2022, if you have a current junior, we have discounted our program and added bonuses. And y'all know I'll never do this, but this is for parents tonight, not if you're already in my program, not if you're going to come and try and join my program next week. That's not how it goes. This is for people tonight. And then after that, you just get the regulars without the bonus. And so it is, I got to figure out how to click these buttons. So it says enroll your student for drum roll. I don't know why we set up all these little shenanigans. The program is $5,000. You get the opportunity, which the program is usually $5,500. Let me be clear, with no bonuses. The action takers tonight will get the opportunity to pay in full or get the 10 payment plan that Nina mentioned. Having the payment plan was beneficial. And on top of that, you're going to get a free college tour ticket, which values at $600. And so if we take the college tour in the fall, you as a junior will be able to have your student as a junior will be able to go on that tour, and it won't cost them additional. Now, if for some reason the tour does not take place, it doesn't give you back anything either, because it's just us bonusing and gifting the student a seat on the bus to go on the college tour with us. Y'all know I'm trying to figure out these buttons. Now, if you have a class of 2023 student, you're going to be with me longer. So you're now a sophomore, you'll be with me the rest of your sophomore year, your junior, and your senior. If you had a junior, you're with me the rest of this year and your senior year. And so you're enrolling your students. The program is usually, drum roll, today is $5,500. It is usually $6,000 to enroll your student. Today, if you take action tonight, you also can pay $5,500 in full, or you get a 15 payment plan. I know the junior parents are saying, Ms. Robinson, that's not fair. How do they get 15 and we only get 10? Because they have more time to pay from their sophomore, junior, and the beginning part of their senior year is why they got 15. And you also get a bonus college tour ticket, but you must use that ticket if we go out in the fall on the college tour. That is, if we go on the tour in the fall, is where you'll be able to cash in on that bonus college tour ticket. So again, you get the college tour, which will go out. Hopefully, we are hoping COVID is going to go away and it's going to go out in September. And we're going to be excited about that. You can see in the chat that we've already posted the link of how you can gain access to more information about the College Bound program, so you can see it for yourself. You can see the link in the feed. You will also get a thank you email tonight in probably about an hour. And also, if you're not sure what's best for you and your family, you can schedule a discovery call. Come on the call saying what you need and what programs, we can tell you what programs we have for you for that particular option. It says, do you work with students that have 504s or LEPS? Yes, my daughter was a IEP student and she is now at a great institution with great resources because I made sure of that. So yes, we do. I have had several students have IEPs and 504 plans that go off to college. I want to address the questions that I saw posted in the feed. I went back and was getting all the questions. So someone asked, when I talk about cumulative GPA, explain. Cumulative GPA is done from 9th, 10th, and 11th grade added all together to determine what you have earned cumulatively over those 3 years of your high school career. Scholarships and GPAs. Most scholarships range from the GPA. You know, there's more for students with a 3.5 and above. There's less for students with a 3.0 and above. And then there's even more less for 2.5. And between that 2.5 to 3.0 range. So just think of it in that retrospect. There's less in 2.5 to 3.0. There's more in 3.0 to 3.5. And there's even more in the 3.5 and above. So look at scholarships from that perspective. Someone privately chatted me and asked, how many spots do you have in the program? So if you have a current junior, which is class of 2022, we have 8 spots left for our cohort class. So for our VIP College Bound program, we posted the link. I told you the price, $5,000, 10 payment plus a bonus college tour ticket. We have 8 spots left for students in that program. If you have a sophomore, we don't take as many sophomores as we do our rising seniors, which is considered our juniors. So we have 5 spots left in our sophomore class if you have a current 10th grader, 5. If you have a current 11th grader, 8 spots. The next question was testing. I said something you guys said about February and August. So remember I said if you're a current junior, you should take the test in February and August. If you're a current sophomore, you should be practicing. Same time next year, you'll probably, if you're back in school, you'll probably get a free test in the winter that they'll offer you. But as sophomores, you should be practicing and taking practice tests. Let's see, what was the other question? Oh, the FAFSA opening for juniors. Remember, I said only if you're a junior does the FAFSA open for high school juniors, okay? So if you post your question in the chat and I missed it when I went back through the chat, please just unmute yourself and ask your question. If you didn't type a question and you now have a question, please unmute yourself and we can answer, and I can answer your question. Will class of 23 be able to enroll next year? Will class of 23, so that means you have a sophomore. Oh, so you're asking me if you have a sophomore this year, because sophomores can enroll this year if they want, but if you're saying you won't enroll this year, but you'll hold them out and enroll next year, just keep in mind, it will most likely not be at this discounted price. So remember, usually I just discounted it for tonight's masterclass to fill our remaining spots. So usually by the time they enter in their junior year, which will be next year for their junior year for the class of 23 family, it will not be the same price though, and it definitely will not have the bonus college tour. But yes, they would be able to wait and enroll in their junior year if they would like. It will just be more money because the prices will not be discounted, okay? Any other questions that parents have? You can unmute yourself if you would like and come off mute and ask the question, or you can keep chatting your questions in the box. But if I missed your question in the box, please don't hesitate to ask your question again or to come off mute and ask it. I want to make sure no one leaves here with a question that they're not able to get an answer from. Any questions? Please don't be shy. No question is a dumb question. I tell kids it's only dumb if you don't ask. I mean, I could have did an amazing job and maybe you guys just don't have questions, but that's hard to believe that there's no more questions. I'm looking at the SAT dates. I don't see February. So no. I said between February and April. So meaning look on their websites and see when they actually have dates between that time. So I'm not saying that they have dates on February. What I'm saying is please make sure you check between February and April to see when the date is available. So you just need to look on there. So keep in mind, some tests have been canceled some tests have been canceled and they're adding more different ones. So, but Constance, Janiyah should know what test she's taking. I texted to her this morning. Thoughts on community college. So remember I said there's nothing wrong with community college. You can start at a community college. There's nothing wrong with it. That gives you an opportunity to create a foundation. Do they look more into your test scores or your GPA? Both. So do they look more into your test scores or your GPA? Both. If you apply to a school test optional without test scores, then of course they're looking at your GPA, your essay, your extracurriculars, and your recommendation. Please know that now more than ever, your essay matters now more than ever. Students, please, please, please focus on writing. I done did something on my computer, y'all. I apologize. Now I got to figure out where I'm at. Oh Lord, y'all, I done did something. Okay, please focus on. I done knocked myself completely off of the site. And can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. These MacBooks, you get to swiping and you'll be all over.
Yes.
Please make sure that you are looking into your essay and starting now. I'm going to actually be doing an essay masterclass coming up for juniors only though. And that's going to be on Saturday, April 17th. We'll also be doing a masterclass on helping you write your academic resume on February 6th, how to properly do your research on February 15th. And we got the fall college tour possibly coming up in the fall. Now, but if you're in our VIP College Bound program, you don't need any of those workshops because you'll have all of that in your program. And as you can see, it's in the comments of what we have coming up with workshops.
I have a question.
Yes.
Well, one is kind of two-parter, but the
Okay.
first one had to do with
Absolutely.
choosing a major, and the second one was, so when it comes to having a top 10, especially like because the minor that I want is more towards counseling, and that's usually not offered as a minor. When it comes to like choosing a top 10, how many of them should have both the major that I want and the minor, or should that be a priority for everyone, for every college?
So it depends on what's most important to you, but keep in mind, most schools are not, you're not going to find that at most schools because a counseling program is considered a master's program. So you're really not going to find a counseling program at most schools. So I don't know that I would rule out a school just because they don't have that. You could possibly take some courses geared around
I was about
counseling.
to ask, do you know like a similar minor? Because I've also been trying to find that, like a similar minor to something that will be offered as a minor, but is similar to counseling.
And when you say counselor, you mean in a high school, like a guidance counselor or a counselor like a
Probation
psychiatrist? Huh?
Probation officer similar to that, like substance abuse counseling, or should I just try to do
Okay. So for that particular, for the substance abuse and programs like that, those are usually like geared programs. And oftentimes you won't find those separated. Does that make sense? But underneath, probably criminal justice majors are going to deal with like substance and things like that because they in a prison with substance abuse and things. So those are areas that's going to cover those. But when you go to college's websites, you got to look under their major, look under criminal justice, look under see if they have other things that might talk about substance abuse. And then also when you, let's say you get your top 7 and you really love those schools based off of them having your first major, you can always call them to discuss what you're thinking about so that they can tell you if they have any kind of classes that you can mix in to take on that. Keeping in mind that most liberal arts schools allow you to create your own program. So you want to make sure you're looking at some liberal arts schools too. Did that answer your question, dear?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Someone said, should we take AP exams? If you are in AP classes, yes, you should take AP exams. I have a freshman at College Park and now realizing we need help with our younger daughter who's a junior. Awesome. So Ms. Hall, definitely reach out. We would love to assist your daughter in navigating. Let's see, did I miss other questions? Any other questions, please? Somebody had their hand raised, but you can just come off of mute. You don't have to raise your hand. Please just come off mute and start talking. Is the merit money only based on the student or does family income play a role? So no, remember I said merit money, parents, you can start shouting now that it is not based on your student, on your income. It is only based on your student's GPA, okay, and their test scores. How long is the VIP College Bound Mentor Program? If you have a current junior, they will be with me until they graduate. If you have a current sophomore and they enroll, they will be with me until they graduate as well. Someone asked, how long was the VIP College Bound program? If you have a 10th grader, they will be with me the rest of this year, their 11th grade year, and their 12th grade year. If you have a junior, they will be with me the rest of this year and their 12th grade year. Their last session with me is always May 5th. And then some of them then go into my college mentor program, which is the next level for the students in college. Some of them are in my mentorship program with me while they're in college. Yes, I can hear someone off mute. So did you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The slide that you showed, the grade point average test scores. Look at the schools. How do we find?
So when you go in a school's website, you have to go under their admissions tab. Now, please let me be clear because I don't want anybody to say, well, you didn't tell us that. Every school will not show you that. However, some schools will. So that's why when you heard Ms. Nina say it was worth the investment immediately, that's what she means by being able to know which one of her students' schools we're going to offer the money up top and not, we knew that automatically. But you can go right under their admissions tab and look for their last year's. Remember, I said it'll say last year's comparative test scores and GPA for the incoming class, because that's what they based it off of. So they do, a lot of schools have it, but some schools will keep it private, unfortunately. Prep Scholar does similar things with the GPA and test scores to see how you compare. Yeah, so someone said you can go to Prep Scholar to see what the GPA and test scores and how you compare. Any other questions or comments or anything, any questions? If you have any questions about the program, please don't hesitate to come off mute and ask. I will definitely answer, or any question that you might have before we jump off. We're about 3 minutes before it's 8:30. But again, I want to make sure you have all your questions answered. You're all connected to us on our email list. We posted the link for the program here. You will get a follow-up email probably about 9-ish that will also have the link so that you can grab the link and go through the link. And so you can get more details about it as well. I know some people are visual, so they need to really see it, dissect it, and go through it. Here's the deal. I always say this to families. This information is a lot of information. We can be information hoarders or we can be action takers. You have to decide which one fits your family. And again, I know my program isn't for everyone, but I promise the results that your student will get, the investment will be paid back 3 times over in your first acceptance letter with your merit money, because we make sure the students are tailored to the schools that are going to give them the money. And most importantly, the goal is money and finding home, because we don't want the kids to call us, or you or me, and say, Ms. Robinson, I want to transfer because I'm not happy here, because they never really did the proper research the correct way in the beginning. And so there's somewhere that they really don't fit in. But had they had the opportunity, had they had the support, had they had the knowledge about these schools, they would have made different decisions and different choices. Does the program continue during the summer? They have different tasks to do, but nothing major. If it's over the summer, they're not doing major tasks, but it depends on what grade level they're in. If they are a current junior, parents, if you're asking me the questions about the program, please just say what grade level your children are in, because then it'll help me answer you. If your child is a junior, does the program continue during the summer? For juniors, yes. Why? Because applications open in the summer. So of course we will be working in the summer. For sophomores, no, it does not. They get a break. They have different things that they're working on. That's really all they're doing in the summertime. But for juniors, yes, it does go through the summer, because they will be doing all their applications. You heard Samaya say, by November, she was done with all of her applications and getting her acceptance letters. So yes, they do work through the summer. Any other questions, comments, anything, feel free to ask. We got 1 more minute. I'm not rushing. I will stick around to answer questions, but I value your time and want to make sure we don't hold you past the capacity of your time as well. So any final questions, comments, please, by all means, you can jump off of mute. If you feel like you jumped on here tonight and you got something that was either a reminder, a refresher, was new information, or was just something that hit home, let me know in the comments so I know that you at least got what you needed to get from tonight's masterclass. So if you got something, you got a refresher, or you got a punch in the gut or something, just let me know in the comments so I know I've done my part. You can put a number 1 or whatever you want to put in the comments. At least I would know that you got off and you got what you needed, or something that's going to help you move forward, whether you move forward with us or whether you move forward on your own. Either way, we want to make sure, my goal is to make sure you are successful in navigating the college process. I told you, if you don't, a lot of times my program isn't for everyone because of the investment. If that's the case, please grab a copy of the book. Make sure you grab it. You can grab it on my website for the book. And you want to make sure it's $20. I promise you, it's the best investment you will ever make. Amazon ranks it #1 for helping high school students get into college. The information is there. You just got to open it up and go through it step by step so that you can get what you need. If you're in a program, of course, we do it step by step with you, for you, so you don't have to figure it out. But if you're not going to get in a program, grab the book so it can at least be a resource and be of support to you. For each and every one of you who plan to join us inside the VIP College program, we welcome you to our Shining Star family. We look forward to supporting you. We look forward to being a part of your team, because we are a team of winners. We don't believe in losing. And so I'm excited to join forces with you and make sure you have the confidence and ease to navigate through this process so that you can make sure your child can go to college without going into debt. I told you my daughter goes to a $62,000 school, and we pay zero. The money is out there, and I want to make sure your family can get that same type of opportunity so that they can your child can cash in on going to college, and you could be saving that money to get them out of your house when they're done and give them some money to go get their first apartment or something. That's what I tell my daughter. I'm saving, girls, so you can get your first apartment and get out. But anyway, thank you again for tuning in to tonight's masterclass. I hope you got information so that you don't make these mistakes and choosing your right fit school. Remember to find a place you can call home for 4 years. And when you do that, make sure you don't go into debt trying to do that. Again, I look forward to connecting with each and every one of you. Have an amazing night. Continue to be safe, be blessed, and we will see you for something again in the near future. Good night.
Well, you told us to stay all the way on. I will not.
Oh, yes. So, that's right. See, girl,
Yeah.
do a book. Inbox me, send me an email with your home address. I'm gonna send you a free book. She reminded me. She the only one. Everybody else was ready to jump off and they forgot. So the free gift is, you saw it in the link in the chat where I said that the part of the free gift was the college tour ticket, the extra one if you signed up for the program. That was one of the free gifts. The second free gift was you can schedule a discovery call with me as a family so that you can just, I know on here it's an open group of everybody. You could come with your main concerns, your questions, and what you need in navigating so that I can help you decide how to move forward on your own, or what's the best program that we have. If the VIP program isn't the right fit one for you, what would be the next right fit for you? And you can schedule a discovery call. And that link was already posted in a group too. So that was our second free gift. I just forgot to say it was a free gift. So I thank you for helping me to remember. So now remember what you're going to do. You're going to send me a what? An email.
Also, could you send the links again?
Yes. So the links are, hold on 1 second. So I'm yelling down to my daughter, post the links. So she got the links and posting them for me. So does the program continue during the summer? That's an old question. Me and my daughter is still on our address. Is that you, babe? Are you Denise?
No, this is Kalia.
Oh, okay, so Kalia is the one who gets a free book because she remembered to tell me. So the free gift is only the discovery call plus the college tour ticket was the free gifts. For the people who enrolled in the College Bound program, they got the free gift, which was the college tour. And then the people who are not sure, they got the opportunity to do a free discovery call with me about their family and what needs you have and where you need to go in the process. So those were the free gifts. I'm giving an extra free gift to say your name one more time, babe, so I can write it down.
Kalia Turner.
To Kalia, when she emails me. So Kalia, you saw my email on that slide?
Yes, I'm trying to find it now because I did.
Put it in the chat. I'm gonna put it in the chat. And so the discovery call is free, yes. So the link was there. Give me 1 more second and I'm gonna make sure I put the link. You fired. My daughter's fired, y'all. She goes, oh, I can't get back in to share the link. What? She is fired. Here's the, wait a minute, babe. Let me give you the email address. Here we go. Okay, you see my email address, Kalia?
Yes.
I'm gonna scroll back up and get the